Good morning. It is Sunday, December 18th. I'm Abby Huntsman. President-elect Donald Trump taking on the media in the final stop of his thank you tour.
This guy is demented. He's a demented person. And that's why the Times is failing. But they'll never change. They'll never change, Jeff, no matter what you do.
In Mobile, Alabama last night. More from the president-elect straight ahead.
Meanwhile, Democrats unleashed their last-ditch effort to delegitimize Donald Trump, threatening members of the Electoral College, vote Hillary or we want you to die. Wait, I thought they were against fake news.
And Michelle Obama proclaims hope in America is dead. But what do the blue-collar workers whose jobs might be saved think about that? One of them is here to respond to that hope at Christmas time. Fox and Friends starts right now. We had so much snow here yesterday. Now it's like 60 degrees, and all that snow has melted in New York City.
Isn't that crazy?
It's all pooling right in the sidewalk, right where you want to step.
It's beautiful.
And it's nice and clean water now.
Oh, yeah.
It's just lovely.
Good morning, everyone. Have you, Pete, I'm sure you've already done all your Christmas shopping. Pete, have you done all yours?
No, I was supposed to do it yesterday. I'm going to do it today online.
You start today?
Yeah, I'm going to just ship it all.
Well, coming up a little bit later in the show, I've got some last-minute best gadgets for moms and best gadgets for dads, plus we've got some other last-minute ideas.
Actually, I did get my parents their gift yesterday.
You did?
And it feels so good when you get it done because you're like, yes, I'm like one day ahead of it.
But then the problem is it starts to creep a little bit because you start to think, did I do enough? You know, and then you just wait and stocking
get that one more thing, and then can I get it there
and then
soon
wait,
enough?
but are they actually going to like that gift? Maybe I should rethink this whole thing.
Well, we're solving your problems. Well, let's talk some politics.
That's right. It feels like it's raining everywhere. It was also raining in Mobile, Alabama yesterday, where Donald Trump held his last Merry Christmas thank you event to a huge crowd there. He had Jeff Sessions and a number of other folks on hand. Here's a little bit of what he had to say yesterday in Mobile, Alabama.
And it's going to start to pour. I will stay out here. The hell with the suit, right? And I never liked this suit anyway. They had a clown today in the failing New York Times who said that I wanted to have another World Trade Center catastrophe because it's good for my base. Can you believe this? What kind of a demented person would say that? Now think of it. Thousands of people killed. Anybody that says that, and this guy is demented. He's a demented person. And that's why the Times is failing. And I went up to see him 3 weeks ago. I gave it a shot. And I had a great meeting. Everybody said I did great. Everything was great. But they'll never change. They'll never change, Jeff, no matter what you do.
So I should have prefaced that clip properly. Obviously, most of the speech was about policy. He did the same thing at polling the group. Should we say Merry Christmas or Man of the Year or USA, the stuff we talked about yesterday. But then he also hit back against Paul Krugman and the New York Times for some things they've said about him.
Right, so Paul tweeted this yesterday. Of course, he writes a weekly column for the New York Times. But he said this on Twitter yesterday. Thought there was rightly a cloud of illegitimacy over Bush. Then he says that was dispelled wrongly by 9/11, meaning that then he suddenly became a legitimate president because of 9/11. He goes on to say, creates some interesting incentives for Trump, meaning, as Trump said, some other sort of large-scale attack could legitimize Trump, that everyone would come together and they'd be rallied around him.
There's a lot to unpack in those 47 characters because there's not a lot of words you can get into a tweet. And to your point, he was taking a shot at President Bush and also basically saying that President-elect Donald Trump would benefit from another 9/11 attack. As Trump said, he's a demented person. I don't know if I'd go that far, but these are words that you should never be saying.
Right.
Never be saying.
I would go that far, and here's why. He's not just saying he would benefit from it. He went on to say that he would induce one or create one or do what in order to bolster his own polling numbers. If his numbers don't look good, then maybe Donald Trump is so off his rocker that he'll create an international incident to make himself look legitimate. I mean, this is some demented stuff if you think about it.
Is he trying to incite violence? Is he trying to incite something with China? Is he trying to do something with Russia? Is he trying to stoke that fire and that would somehow legitimize him as president? Well, meanwhile, Democrats are saying some of the same things, and they're trying to rally now these electors. Of course, tomorrow is the big vote, the Electoral College vote tomorrow. And of course, you saw those Hollywood messages trying to get those electors to, at the last minute, to change their vote, saying, don't, be a conscientious objector. Come out, switch your vote at the last minute, disregard what your state has said, and vote for Hillary Clinton.
That's right. So this is an election you normally hear nothing about because it's a quiet election. The Electoral College vote happens in every state capital across the country. Usually it's decided well beforehand, just like it is right now. But for the next 24 hours, you turn on any other network, it's all you're going to hear. Right. And you hear all the news talking about fake news. This is fake news.
And
They need 36 electors to change. Only one person has said maybe they'll change so far. Yet tens of thousands of people are harassing these electors with death threats.
That one person who said they would change said that they would change their vote for another Republican, not for Hillary Clinton.
Not to Hillary.
Right, but this one Republican saying I might switch my vote and vote in another Republican for the ticket, not Hillary Clinton.
We've talked to a number of these electors on the show, getting death threats, getting these notes and thousands of emails. Terrible things said about them and their family and things that they would want to do to them. So that's a sad situation. But you also now have John Podesta, who was the chairman of Hillary Clinton's campaign. You think, the election's over, you'd think people would go on vacation, just start enjoying their life a little bit.
No.
But he's out there still talking about what happened. He said this in an op-ed. He said the election is over and the damage is done, but the threat from Russia and other potential aggressors remain urgent and demands a serious and sustained response. The administration should brief members of the Electoral College on the extent and manner of Russia's interference in our election before they vote, of course, tomorrow on December 19th.
So again, more pointing the finger at Russia and saying, we got to hear what Russia did here because they clearly were to blame for the fact that Hillary Clinton ran a terrible campaign and lost. But Loretta Lynch was on another network yesterday, basically shooting down everything that John Podesta had to say. This is what she said.
First of all, the investigation isn't even over, so I think it's impossible to characterize it in any one way or the other. Again, I don't know where Mr. Podesta is obtaining information.
He said the New York Times. There's a big, long New York Times story that I'm sure you read.
So, and I know also because of his involvement with the campaign, he's going to have a certain interest in this and a certain view of that. And so, I allow him his opinion. Everyone has a great deal of respect for him, so I allow him that opinion. But I disagree with that, if that is in fact the characterization he's trying to make.
So infighting right now.
So she's standing by the FBI and the decisions that they made and how James Comey handled this, which, as we were talking about when this all broke, there seemed like behind the scenes there was a lot of disconnect, a lot of disagreement. But it sounds like now she's saying, no, I'm going to back what they did.
So, for some analysis on this, Newt Gingrich has been out there talking about and looking at this sort of post-mortem of the election. He had this take on John Podesta's comments. Listen to Newt Gingrich.
Notice what the core of their argument is, that by hacking into the emails, they let the American people know things that were true. I mean, the Russians didn't write the emails. Hillary Clinton did. John Podesta did. Everything that's really embarrassing and damaging came either from Bill Clinton, Hillary Clinton, their top staff, or John Podesta, their campaign manager. But their argument is, even though what they wrote was really embarrassing, that it's not their fault it became public, and therefore it's the Russians' fault for making public how bad what they were doing was. I mean, if you think about that logic, again, you're a judge. I'm a historian. I'm not a lawyer. But it strikes me, I wouldn't want to take their case into court and try to defend their logic.
It's such a great point. It's not the Russians that forced Hillary Clinton to put a server in her basement or John Podesta to click on a phishing link. Doesn't mean it's good that the Russians are trying to do these things, but we know they've been doing this, and every other country is trying to get information from us.
No one wants their email hacked into. I don't think anyone wants those conversations public, so certainly that was not fun for them to experience. But to your point, whose fault was this at the end of the day?
Look at the DNC.
Who's to blame?
Right, look at what we saw from Debbie Wasserman Schultz. She was forced to step down as a result of the emails that were being handed out. Trying to quiet Bernie Sanders supporters, trying to keep him out of this process. She was forced to step down as a result of that.
It sort of highlighted so many concerns that people had, and it just sort of legitimized that all of that was, in fact, going on behind the scenes.
Yes, that usually is exposed by a critical press that wants to dig for the truth, but was in the tank giving questions to the Clinton campaign.
Right, that's
and it took a WikiLeaks to get, it's not good, any of it, but it exposes the core of maybe the swamp.
Right. Which is why you would think all the more her team would now say, let's just go on vacation. Let's just enjoy. That was a rough period.
So guess what? You're going to hear about all this news about the Electoral College, and then they're all going to vote tomorrow, and then Donald Trump's going to be president. So we'll skip the noise.
But tomorrow's a big day, December 19th. We do have some other headlines to get to this morning, though, starting with this, a Fox News alert and a day of celebration that turns deadly. One woman is killed and 5 others injured when a massive tree crashes right onto a wedding party as they were taking their pictures. Among those injured, a 4-year-old girl fighting for her life this morning.
It was like a scene in a movie where the tree is slowly coming down and you just see whoever was under it running straight through it, not moving to the side.
That is so scary. Well, at least 20 people were trapped by fallen branches. Firefighters believe it may have been weakened from a 5-year drought. And to some extreme weather now continues this morning. Deadly ice-covered roads and heavy snow hammering the Midwest, causing hundreds of car wrecks in Baltimore. A deadly 67-car pileup, killing 2 people, including the driver of that tanker that exploded when it flipped over. The storms have killed 13 people since Tuesday. And after more than 300 rounds of golf, what is one more? President Obama is in Hawaii for his last Christmas vacation as president of the United States. And to no one's surprise, he's wasted no time rallying up his full motorcade and heading to the golf course to tee up. The president joined on the green by 3 White House staffers and a friend. And it's a joyous and a tear-filled holiday reunion for a military family after a secret Santa helps reunite a mother and a son just in time for Christmas.
Just to have him home, our family's very close, so to have him home for Christmas is just, it's the world. It's the best gift we could absolutely receive.
19-year-old Austin Freeney has been training with the Army at Fort Benning, Georgia, and getting home to New Jersey for Christmas wasn't in the budget this year. The Freeney family tried selling things and raising money on GoFundMe, but it still was not enough until a total stranger stepped in and bought Austin a plane ticket home to see his family. I love those stories.
Very nice.
Great.
Do you know who's smart? Who? Me. But you know who else is smart? Rick Reichmuth.
Do you know who's not quite as smart, but still smart?
We still love you.
No, yesterday he said it's going to be like super warm. All the snow's going to be gone and overnight. And sure enough, it's all gone.
Nostradamus.
It's amazing how that happens with a forecaster. It's something. But it's also going to get really cold now. I will tell you this.
Really?
It's about to get really
It's warm today, but
yeah, actually huge problems across parts of the plains because of this cold. This is the storm. We had the snow yesterday and some of the rain. Excuse me. And now we've got the front that's coming through. And this front is really, really powerful. Cold enough that we've been seeing some snow down across the south. And Clayton, if you're so smart, can you tell where the cold front is here?
It's that big red spot.
Oh, no, actually.
Is there red? I don't see red on that.
Oh, the
I would
green?
think it's the blue.
I see
This
purple.
right here.
I think it's the blue, Rick.
Yeah, temperatures yesterday in parts of Texas dropped 70 degrees in the day. So started out, we broke high record temperatures into the 70s in the Panhandle, and we got to Amarillo, 3 degrees last night. And right now, Minneapolis is minus 18 actual air temperature. So the cold air is certainly in place. Warm air here across the coast. This is the wind chill. Feels like minus 40 in Fargo. But I just want to take us through the next couple of days. The pink, that's really kind of the coldest air. Watch what happens. It starts to go up towards the north, towards Canada, where we like it to be Wednesday, Thursday. For much of this coming week, things finally a lot warmer than it's been over the last couple of weeks, which people are going to be very, very happy for.
Yeah, that Arctic blast the last few days. Whew.
Yeah.
The threshold in Minnesota is about negative 30 to cancel school, though. So
it takes a lot. Yeah.
Thanks, Rick.
Well, China brazenly stealing one of our Navy's drones. But what is the left focused on this morning? A misspelled tweet by the president-elect. Well, we're going to debate this. Chuck Rocha, Matt Schlapp here to debate what's more important next.
That is right. Plus, another front in the war on Christmas, the shocking sign an atheist group.
And welcome back. China accusing the U.S. of hyping up the Navy drone controversy. This after President-elect Donald Trump called it an unprecedented act in that misspelled tweet, so he misspelled that there. Democrats, though, didn't hesitate to jump all over the misspelling, with Connecticut Senator Chris Murphy tweeting this. This is madness, a 7:30 a.m. Saturday escalation of diplomatic crisis with China via Twitter with a misspelling, end quote. Shouldn't the left be more concerned about China's actions? Joining us now for a fair and balanced debate, Matt Schlapp, the chairman of the American Conservative Union, and Chuck Rocha, fellow at the Center for National Policy and the president of Solidarity Strategies. Nice to see both of you. Chuck, reading your notes this morning, you seem just as angry as Chris Murphy about this tweet, this misspelled tweet yesterday. Why?
Well, I think I'm more upset about the use of the president-elect and his Twitter account. I could care less about him misspelling a word, but I think that there's diplomatic things going on there that are much bigger than I will ever understand. And I'm like, at a time when everybody's watching, it's like when my papa bought me my first shotgun. He's like, now be careful, this is not a BB gun. You can now kill somebody. I'm just saying, a little more caution. I know he's bang, bang, bang. I know that's why he got elected, but now it's real time. Now he's going to be the president. That was my only concern with this whole thing.
So, Matt, we got to watch out because the president-elect could get us all killed with his Twitter account.
Right. Yeah, I think the only thing that's going to get killed is some of the mainstream media who likes the president to always go through them with their messaging. And I think the one thing that Donald Trump has been able to do, and Dick Cheney, put his finger right on it, which is Donald Trump is working around the New York Times and around the Washington Post and talking to real Americans. And I think it's fantastic.
Chuck, shouldn't we be more concerned about what China is doing to us than these Twitter accounts? Here was Trump yesterday. He spelled this out. He said we should tell China that we don't want the drone they stole back. Let them keep it. But he's also saying we need to be tough with China. Isn't that the kind of thing we want out of a president?
Yeah, I think that being tough is fine. I think making sure that America, that the USA is at the forefront of everything that goes on around the world, and not being the world's policeman, but making sure that we're there in a very, very respected way. I think we're really raw, and I think the left is really raw because they just lost an election where they got 2.5 more votes than the Republicans. And so there's a lot of people who are just going to continue to throw visceral and throw madness. But I think the country needs to come together now. We need to make sure that America is right out in the front and watching and making sure everything's going to be merry.
What should our presidents do, Matt? Do we want a president to be strong with China?
Yeah, absolutely. And I actually think this is a unifier for the country. This is an early test for President-elect Trump. He's not yet taken the oath of office, obviously. But this problem is going to linger into the beginning part of his presidency. President Bush had a similar type of challenge. And the dictators all over the world and the authoritarians and the communist leaders will watch how he handles this. And I think as he projects strength, it's a lesson to everybody around the globe that the Obama era truly is coming to an end, and America will stand up for its interests, and it's about time.
I better watch out for my misspellings. I know, Chuck, you'll be all over it.
Not me.
Good to see both of you this morning. Merry Christmas, Matt. Chuck,
Merry
great
Christmas.
to see you this morning. All right, coming up here on the show, Debbie Wasserman Schultz was forced out as DNC chair over those hacked emails, but one man that wants to replace her has email issues of his own. Wait until you hear what he did. That's next. Plus, First Lady Michelle Obama says it's time to give up, America. And welcome back. Time now for a quick look at your headlines. Thousands gathering to celebrate the life of a true American hero, former astronaut John Glenn. Friends and colleagues, including the Vice President, Joe Biden, speaking about his incredible accomplishments. Glenn was the first man to orbit the Earth. He passed away on December 8th at 95 years old, the first American to orbit the Earth. And a small Christmas thank you to heroes who gave everything. $70,000 volunteers braving the icy weather to place Christmas wreaths on every one of the 400,000 graves in Arlington National Cemetery. That project, by Wreaths Across America, made possible thanks to generous viewers like you who donated. Pete, Abby?
That's right. Thank you, sir. Well, her husband ran on the slogan, hope and change. But America is hopeless now that President-elect Donald Trump is about to come into office, according to her.
We feel the difference now. Yeah. See, now we're feeling what not having hope feels like. You know, hope is necessary. It's a necessary concept. What do we do if we don't have hope, Oprah?
Well, the employees of Rexnord have a different outlook after our future president stepped in to work to save their jobs from being moved to Mexico.
And one of their employees joins us now. Now his name is Kyle Beeman. Kyle, thank you for joining us. So when we heard about the job saved at Carrier, there was hope that at your firm, Rexnord, that maybe those jobs could be saved as well. We heard that in order to keep your severance package, you would have to train your Mexican replacement. What is the status of your job, and how do you respond to what Michelle Obama had to say, that there is no hope?
Well, the First Lady's entitled to her opinion. I know the campaign was hope and change. We've seen a lot of hope. We've seen a lot of change, and that being American workers' jobs are being outsourced to other countries. So I'm not going to down the First Lady. She's entitled to her opinion. But right now, I'm one of the ones that's living on hope.
Why are you living on hope? I mean, the Christmas is right around the corner. How are you feeling at this moment?
Honestly, very depressed.
Well, but yet it's in limbo. What will happen ultimately? Severance packages. Are you going to have your job? Are you not? It doesn't look good. Even though what happened down the road at Carrier was a lot of jobs were saved. But hope is not just an idea. It's the reality that something could change. Do you have hope that if it's not your job, it's other jobs in this country, that Donald Trump can help bring them back?
Absolutely. I mean, there's a lot of companies across this country are facing the same dilemma that Carrier Rexnord has faced. So, yeah, we're all working on hope, praying for hope. We're hoping for a change in the attitude of the CEOs of these corporations that are out for nothing but corporate greed and the almighty dollar. Whether or not Rexnord can be saved, I know Mr. Trump has mentioned our name at various times. So as a group, yes, we're still holding on. We still have a few months left that maybe he can intervene. But if it doesn't happen, it doesn't happen. Maybe somebody down the line will get that hope, keeping their job. Time will tell.
Yeah. Kyle, as you know, he's been out on the sub talking about jobs, 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 buy American, hire American. What is your message to President-elect Trump, you and your situation, and so many others just like you? His first 100 days in office, what do you hope that he focuses on?
The gentleman's got a lot on his plate, but his main theme during his campaign was jobs, jobs. American jobs are no longer going to lead this country. So I'm going to hold him accountable to this. How much of that can be done and accomplished, time will tell. But I'm hoping that he can do this.
Well, Kyle, we want to wish you a Merry Christmas. We hope we hope there is hope, and for you and for many other American workers, that the future is bright. So thank you for joining us this morning on Fox and Friends.
Thank you for having me again.
Merry Christmas, Kyle.
Thank
Thanks
you.
for being here.
Merry Christmas. Merry Christmas.
All right, up next, Mitt Romney breaks his silence since learning he will not become the next Secretary of State.
Plus, what happens when you ask college students to sign a petition banning Christmas? Actually, right here in New York City. We were just talking about how hungry we are because we're not really eating until our food segments come up later on in the show. So all of our stomachs have
That's
been
how
growling.
I plan my diet on the show. Is if there's
Around
no
the
food
food we're
segments,
eating?
I get a breakfast sandwich. If there is a food segment, then I eat on the show.
They're cooking down the hall. It smells fantastic.
Smell it.
I know, I'm super excited about that.
It does. So we want you guys to send us what you're eating to make us feel even worse about the fact that we're
Yeah, if
hungry.
you're eating
So let
something
us
cool
know.
or unique or interesting or a particularly large portion or something,
Or an
send it in
edible
and let us
Christmas
know.
sweater.
Oh, yeah. Oh, and also, I just had an idea, too, which is we were listening to Whitney Houston, and I'm thinking about Christmas songs. You know, I love Christmas music. I get really excited about it. I do. And
You start it really early, too.
I do. I get like right around Thanksgiving, even before I'm okay with
yeah.
it. What's your favorite Christmas song? Do you have one that stands out?
Holy Night, Oh Holy Night.
Oh, Holy Night.
Mine is the Home Alone Christmas soundtrack.
What? The whole soundtrack?
The Home Alone. I was listening to it last night. I listened to it the whole night. It is the best. Da, 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 da.
I know Rick hates that I love this song, but it's Wham's Last Christmas. It's such a fabulous song. Wham's Last Christmas is my favorite Christmas song. Send us in your favorite Christmas songs this morning. I'm going
Your
to try
breakfast, Christmas songs, we want to know.
Rick, I'm going to play Wham's Last Christmas underneath your next weather report, just for you.
All right, let's get to some other headlines this morning, starting with this. An extremely dangerous escaped inmate recaptured after days on the run. Edward Moore, caught by U.S. Marshals in North Carolina overnight. Officers arriving to find him holding a hostage in a car. Deputies arresting him after a brief standoff. Moore escaped police custody at a hospital Wednesday after assaulting a deputy, taking his taser, and stealing a green Buick. And then a rare and kind word from Mitt Romney about President-elect Donald Trump, the former 2012 Republican nominee, telling the Salt Lake Tribune he is now warming up to his presidency. He says, quote, "I was more than a little surprised the president-elect reached out to me to potentially serve as Secretary of State as the United States. I see it as a welcome sign that he will be open to alternative views and even to critics." And you may recall Romney called Trump a fraud during the primaries. It got pretty ugly there. And a banner calling religion a myth is causing outrage in a Virginia community. Residents say that this 6-foot sign is extremely disrespectful because it's right next to a nativity scene.
You ought to take it down.
I mean, this is the birth of Jesus sitting here. Why would you want to put something like that on there?
So the man who posted the banner got a permit from the city and says it's not meant to offend people, but to make them think differently about religion. Local officials say both displays are not endorsed nor sponsored by the city. And then there's this, a police winter rescue taking a bizarre turn. Cops in Hudson, New York, smashing the window of a car after calls about a senior citizen wearing an oxygen mask frozen inside. To the officer's surprise, it turned out to be a very realistic mannequin, complete with hair, clothes, and even teeth. Even wearing a seatbelt, this mannequin.
I saw the story yesterday. I saw the picture. I'm like, that looks real. She looks real.
So the owner claims to work for a medical company that sells CPR mannequins and was transporting. No charges have been filed on this, but this is the strangest story.
Look, I would break the window too.
I would be so freaked out.
Come on.
Can you tell the difference?
Did he make that himself?
That looks like grandma.
Holy cow.
Wow.
No charges should be filed, let me tell you that.
That is crazy.
It's time to get it outside to Rick Reichmuth for a little.
Is it a mannequin, or are you playing songs?
For a little weather report this morning.
Don't do this to me.
Come
Don't
on,
do
Rick,
it.
it's
Don't
Little
do
Wham's
it.
last
Somebody cut his
Christmas
mic.
What?
Cut his mic. Cut his mic. You know there's some Christmas songs that just send you completely in the wrong direction, like into the anti-Christmas mood.
No, come on. How can you not feel so? This is like early 1980s fun.
Listen, that's because for you it was retro. I lived through it the first time. When you live through a song the first time, it has a completely different feeling.
That's true.
Hey, people send this to me on Twitter. I know everybody has their favorite Christmas song, but there also are songs that are your complete anti-Christmas song, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, one of those Beach Boys Christmas songs I'm not a fan of.
Really? You don't like the Beach Boys?
There you go. We're going to blast that next time
I
that
love
you
their
do
Christmas
They've
stuff.
got like two of them, and one of them is not that good.
I don't know which one.
All right.
We'll get back to you on that.
Let us know. Let us know what your least favorite song is as well. Take a look at the weather map, show you what's going on. Some big changes coming for almost everybody, and a lot of people are going to be happy about this. This is your actual air temperature. Aberdeen, South Dakota, minus 34 air temperature. Omaha, minus 10. Kearney, Nebraska, minus 11. Factor in some wind. How about that? There you go. What does minus 54 feel like in Aberdeen? Not feeling good at all. And there's been big changes over the last 24 hours. This is your temperature change in the last 24 hours. It's all about the wind direction, and that has brought down the major cold all the way down across parts of Texas and in towards the deep south, warming up all along the eastern seaboard temporarily. Rain is going to move through along with potentially a couple thunderstorms, and take a look how quickly those temperatures drop off across areas of the northeast throughout the day today. Down to the southeast, pick your city and take a look at what happens. We start out warm in places like Atlanta and Birmingham, and then the bottom drops out, and we're going to be very, very cold by 9 p.m. tonight. You're at 15 in Tulsa, Oklahoma. Into the northern plains, we're starting off really, really cold. Throughout the day, we warm up a little bit, getting up maybe above 0 in Aberdeen throughout the afternoon, but it is just going to be a brutally cold one. Temps do warm up tomorrow. And finally, out across areas of the west, here you go. Looking a little bit better, certainly, than the rest of the country. All right, guys.
I love that one, though.
All right, Secretary of Labor Tom Perez announcing his bid for chair of the DNC.
Yeah, but thanks to a Hillary Clinton-style email scandal, could his candidacy be over even before it starts?
Our own Jackie Ibanez is following the story for us. Good morning, Jackie.
Morning.
Good morning, folks. You know, I like both of those songs, so you nailed it in my eyes. The outgoing Secretary of Labor is the latest in a series of Democrats vying for chair of the party. But like his party's presidential nominee, an email scandal may keep him from the position he wants. While with the Department of Justice, Perez was accused of repeatedly breaking America's security laws and the Federal Records Act by using a private email address. In 2013, an investigation into Perez's activities was launched while he was angling to replace Eric Holder as U.S. Attorney General. That investigation found Perez used his personal email account more than 1,200 times, including to leak non-public information to the New York Times and Planned Parenthood. He fought the investigation nearly every step of the way, refusing to obey a subpoena and supply his emails to the congressional committees investigating him. In all, Congress only reviewing 34 of those private emails, but still found he likely violated both the spirit and letter of the Federal Records Act, and that he conducted official department business with at least 12 separate individuals on that private account. In a statement, the RNC slammed Perez, calling him a, quote, left-wing radical that would put the DNC even further out of touch with average Americans. Back to you guys.
More complications.
Yep. Thank you,
Just
Jackie.
don't use a private server. It's not that hard. Thanks, Jackie.
It's pretty simple, actually.
Note to self.
Right.
Wow.
All right, well, this story will inspire you. A Gold Star mother making it her mission to honor her fallen son. He promised to graduate when he came back home, so she went back to school and finished for both of them. And that mother is joining us live in just minutes.
Plus, what happens when you ask college students to sign a petition banning Christmas?
We're just sending a letter to the administration to be like, hey, like, this can be like almost oppressive for some people. Would you guys like to sign?
I will totally sign.
Totally.
Cabot Phillips, the man who took that video, joins us live next.
Back some quick headlines and a new report revealing some shocking numbers this morning. The Urban Institute reports there are 820,000 illegal immigrants with criminal records living right here in the U.S., and 84% of those have felonies or serious misdemeanors. And 32 illegal immigrants are found inside of a refrigerated truck. Border Patrol agents finding the migrants among stacks of produce near the Texas-Mexico border during a checkpoint. 2 drivers responsible for the smuggling, they were arrested for that. Yikes.
Well, it is the holiday season, but that's not stopping some college students from playing Scrooge and agreeing to sign a petition to cancel Christmas.
This time of year, it feels like people can shove their holiday happiness in your face, Merry Christmas, ooh, and it just it gets kind of old.
So we're just sending a letter to the administration to be like, hey, this can be almost oppressive for some people. Would you guys like to sign?
I will totally sign.
Yeah. The man in that pink hat is Cabot Phillips, who was featured in that video, and he's a contributor with campusreform.org. He joins us now with more on that. Good disguise, by the way.
I tried to bring that scarf up. I thought Pete would look pretty good in it, but the TSA said this is so large it could be a weapon.
Right.
They banned
like
it.
a hammock instead. I want to get you. So, what was were you surprised by the response of these kids on campus?
I wasn't. I've been on campuses around the country with leadership institutes, campus reform, and there's one thing we see, and that's the students are so afraid of offending anyone that they don't stand for anything. And this is something they get from the administrations. If we're going to start banning holidays based on what could hurt someone's feelings, are we going to ban the 4th of July because not everyone celebrates America? Ban Groundhog Day because, groundhogs, those are animals that are being entrapped, and so that's offensive.
Right.
Yeah, are we going to just start banning random holidays?
Wait, so some people say, oh, you just picked a couple of clips. How many people do you talk to? What percentage of people agreed to sign the petition?
We were out there for about 2 hours. We got about 40 people that we talked to. The only people that didn't sign it were the ones that said, no, I'm in a hurry, I gotta go. The people that actually stopped and listened to us, pretty much all of them signed it. This was not selective, none of that.
What was your argument? What did you say to them to get them to say, you know what, yeah, I will sign this?
The moment I said, I feel oppressed, or the moment I said, we've had some students that felt triggered because of these Christmas decorations, it was like a keyword. The students perked up and they said, oh, well, I have to support this, absolutely.
Did anyone say no?
We had maybe 2 or 3 students that said, well, I kind of like the lights.
I kind of like Christmas.
I kind of like the lights.
I kind of like the lights. In no way was it a stirring, no, protect Christmas.
So what is it like on campus right now? Do people say Merry Christmas? Do you feel in the spirit, or is it very much sort of a bland, happy holiday, have a good trip?
I've been on campuses around the country, like I said, and there's no holiday cheer because, again, the administrations are afraid of offending students, those students seeing these Christmas decorations being triggered. We've reported at Campus Reform around the country. We've had campuses banning Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer, Frosty the Snowman, banning evergreen trees. I thought the left wanted to save the trees, not kick the trees off the campus. Make your mind up.
If there are Christmas lights on them, that's a different story.
Evergreen trees really offend me because they last forever.
I know. It's evergreen.
How do you come up with these ideas? Because it sounds absurd banning Christmas, but then you do it and people sign it. And what does it tell us?
I think what this tells us is we have an entire generation that's being raised to believe that nothing should stand against their own personal beliefs, and that if something offends anyone, it shouldn't be allowed. And the ironic thing here is that I'm a Christian, so I celebrate Christmas. It's the birth of our Savior. But non-Christians, 8 out of 10 non-Christians in America, according to Pew, celebrate Christmas.
Right. That's right.
So the ironic thing here is that banning Christmas is going to offend a lot more people than it would offend just keeping it.
And this is at UVA.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Yeah.
So what is your favorite Christmas song before you go?
Oh, Holy Night. I can never hit that note at the end, but I still love it.
Don't try. We don't need you to try that this morning.
What about, where do you come down on Wham's Christmas album?
Not a fan. I'm used to playing some Beach Boys off air. It was a little triggering.
Rick likes you now.
He was offended. Let's get it banned.
Love it. All right, coming up, President-elect Trump not letting the rain put a damper on his thank you tour last night.
And it's going to start to pour. I will stay out here. To hell with the suit, right? And I never liked this suit anyway, so we'll throw it away after.
More from Mobile, Alabama at the top of the hour.
That's right. But up next, a story that will inspire you. A Gold Star mother making it her mission to honor her fallen son. He promised to graduate. We are back with a very cool story that'll make you proud to be an American. A Gold Star mother making it her mission to honor her fallen son. In 2012, that man right there, Marine Corporal Philip McGeeth, was killed in action while fighting in Afghanistan. He had promised to finish college upon his return, but that never happened. But his mom was not about to let her fallen son's wish go unfulfilled, so she decided to go back to school for both of them. Phyllis McGee just graduated from UT Arlington on Friday, and she's got a smile on her face, and rightfully so. She joins us now to share her story. Phyllis, what an amazing story. First, if you would, tell us about your son who fought for our country.
Philip was a strong, health conscious, as far as he was a bodybuilder and a great love of our family.
And so it was just, I believe, 10 days before he was scheduled to come home. And no one can even imagine how that feels. When did you decide, hey, I want to overcome this tragedy and I want to go to school and finish what he started?
Probably from day one, when they told me I refused to sit down. They wanted me to sit down during the notification, and I stood standing because I knew my son would never have sat down. And as the months progressed, I knew I needed to do something to keep me busy. And I decided that if Philip hadn't gotten to finish college, and I had never finished college raising my 7 children, that I would go back to school and finish for both of us.
That's really cool.
And I was afraid.
On the screen right there's a picture of 3 Marines. I should note also you had 3 sons in the Marines, one of which was Philip, the other 2 also serving in the Marine Corps. So service runs deep in your family, obviously.
Yes, I have still 2 sons still active duty serving, and my husband is 24-year retired Master Sergeant from the United States Air Force.
Wow, I'd say it does run in your family. So tell us what it felt like to walk across that stage and get that degree and fulfill the promise that you made.
It was overwhelming. The response to my doing this in memory of Philip and for my Gold Star moms out there so that I can lift them up was absolutely wonderful. I wanted to do it and I succeeded, and it feels absolutely fantastic.
You sure did. And what do you want to do? What was your degree in, and what do you want to do with it?
My degree was in interdisciplinary studies with a minor in political science and a minor in criminal justice. And due to the fact that I've been mentoring my Gold Star moms that have lost their children since my son was killed, I would like to go into further work. I've been accepted into the UTA School of Social Work to begin my master's in the fall. And I'd like to work towards victim advocacy and counseling.
Very, very cool. With a minor in political science as well, I think maybe you should run for office too. Do you want to announce that today?
You know, that has been a dream of mine. Really, no, it's been a dream of mine. And one
Maybe you will then. Maybe we started it right here. But I want to, on behalf of a grateful nation, thank you for the service of your husband, of your 3 sons, of your son who gave his last breath for this nation, and for your commitment to Gold Stars everywhere who are oftentimes forgotten, and to follow through with getting that degree. It's awesome. We're proud of you. Thank you for joining us this morning, Phyllis.
Thank you. Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
And Merry Christmas. And if you'd like to donate in honor of Philip, you can visit the Travis Manion Foundation, which is a great foundation that supports our warriors and their families. All right, up next, President-elect Trump takes on the media during his Merry Christmas thank you tour.
This guy is demented. He's a demented person. And that's why the Times is failing. But they'll never change. They'll never change, Jeff, no matter what you do.
More from Mobile, Alabama at the top of the hour. Plus, the president-elect is appointing the most conservative cabinet in a generation. Stu Varney on what it means for our economy. Coming up.